Sofia Helin, we're so happy you're joining us at Série 2020 in these very crazy days, a very crazy spring. How are you living with Corona?
I am very fortunate. I was going to be in Stockholm anyway, so I had a lot to do here, and I could just cocoon with the family and go on with what I needed to do. So I'm fortunate, and everyone around me are well, and so on. But it's strange to be in Sweden when I know all the rest of the world is looking at us, wondering what we are doing. And frankly, I don't know what we are doing.
But I'm happy to hear you're well and the family is well. So we are all well in the team too, so we hope for the best. Let's start directly. We're going to dive into your journey as the professional that you are. And I've been researching your track record when reading about your very different roles from theater to film to television. I can see an obvious pattern, and that's since very early days of your career, you seem to have chosen very controversial, very complex roles. Would you agree, and how come?
Well, at the beginning, you, as everyone else, just you're happy to be working. So, but then I was lucky enough to end up with interesting parts early on, and the reason for me to choose a part is always if it awakes a question within me about this person's struggle, about her motivation for doing what she's doing. So I always need to have those questions inside of me in order to be able to start doing a part.
Which characters have shaped you more? Which ones have really awakened that question for you?
I mean, of course, Saga Norén in Bron is the part that I've been playing for such a long time, and she's such uh, she's a different, very different person from who I am, and the way she thinks is so different from my way of being and thinking. So I think I've learned a lot from her, and she's shaped me more than I knew she would, but in a good way. I'm very grateful to Saga.
What makes you say yes to a script, really?
It is this question, and it's also it's not a very rational decision. It's about a yes or a no in my body, and of course, if I'm curious with a director or a writer, or you know, it depends. But I know what makes me say no.
What is that?
I got a script from a very big show with a self-tape scene where there was a woman, the description of a woman going down in a very fancy bar, seducing someone in a very sexy way. And the way the script was written didn't describe a whole person, it described a vision of a person. And this was like a thriller, I don't know, but I just felt that that's not for me. I can't do it. I don't know how to, and it's not written as a whole human being, and then I can't do it.
Interesting. You play a lot of theater, you play film, you play television. What are your major differences? Or how do you prepare for a role on stage, and how do you prepare for a role on camera? Are there major
Uh,
differences?
the difference is the big difference is the preparation, because with theater you rehearse. Here in Sweden we rehearse many weeks, 8 weeks sometimes. So you have time to really dive into the part and to the text. Um, but I mean, it's always a matter of the same process within you in order to understand a character, or in order to go into her world, is the same process, but it's just in another order, so to speak. And I, with theater, you have so much more time to explore differences, and then you have to build the character and the stage performance on something that can be played night after night. You have to make very solid choices. When you shoot, you can shoot 5 different versions and experiment on set, but still you know that day you have to deliver exactly the right take for the film or the TV series. So yeah, that's the difference.
What has been a challenge? What character has been very tough to reach?
I just did a very long shooting with a part about Crown Princess Martha of Norway, who traveled to America and was working together with Roosevelt during the Second World War to make America go into the war and help Europe. And to go into that part, I think I didn't expect it, but it became one of the hardest part I've done, because she is so much in a shape, the more I learned about her, because she lived for real, I realized she was in a perfect, she could perform the perfect woman of that time. And she was so, her whole childhood, she had learned this behavior and being inside those clothes and this manners and everything. And I didn't expect that to be such a challenge to be in for so many months. That was a challenge. And also to, I find it quite fascinating, because people who are royal, they live with a royal facade, but how and when can you crack it up? It was very interesting and hard.
And the series name is Atlantic Crossing, and it's
Yes, Atlantic
soon to come.
Crossing. Yeah.
Tell me something. Did she crack at all? Did she historically? I don't know
Yeah,
the
she
story really.
does.
Interesting. We want to see that. Tell me, how
Yeah.
much does a director affect your role? How much do you work with the director when you're preparing your characters? Have you a near cooperation?
Yes, I'm an actress who I love to rehearse, to meet, to talk, to analyze, to get to know each other, to get rid of all limits and shyness and everything, in order to be able to do the most near portrayal of a person that you can achieve. So I like to work very close with the directors, and I can be. I'm very. I mean, you don't hire me just to tell me what to do.
You're
So
involved in
I'm
the
a bit.
creative process.
I'm involved. I will discuss. I will still ask questions. I'm like that. I can't help it. It's just me.
And then but that's very good. I think there's also a question that never comes up in these discussions, is that how much are you involved with the writers? Because many times writers have a major role, and maybe as showrunners in different shows, how much do you want to reach the writers? How much are you involved with the writers? Tell us about that.
I like to be involved as early as possible. Depends on. I mean, if it's a writer. I mean, if it's, for instance, from a play, it's different. Depends on how much work has been done on the script. I mean, sometimes you get in, like with Atlantic Crossing, I got in while the process of writing the script was running, so I could go in and discuss it and have an opinions and try to shape it and so on. And they were also very open, and we had many discussions about the script. But it's but also, of course, with Saga Norén, with Brun, I had a wonderful cooperation with the writer Hans Rosenfeldt. I mean, over the seasons, we started to working together to see where we wanted her to go, and to, yeah, it was a lot of fun when because we both knew her. We know Saga Norén so well, so it's very easy and fun to work with that together. So what I'm good at is I'm good at taking a scene and in the process helping out. If I'm in the part can speak through me. So if a writer and director is open for that, I'm very happy to be a part.
Interesting. Sofia, how is it to work with younger directors, younger writers? Do you feel you reach them better? Are they more open? Do they reach their actors in another way? Or do you feel any differences between different generations of professionals?
I think it depends more on the personality and the process of each director. But I have worked with some very young directors, like a Danish very good director. She just did her first feature after school. So, I mean, then it's a matter of getting her the help that she needs from me and us as actors, and also relying on her even though she's young. So it's a bit different like that. I mean, if Hanneke would come and wanted to do a movie with me or anything, I wouldn't question so much, I think, as if I was working with someone who just stopped school, or so. But it's always about personality and the artistic view and the artistic method, if you have one.
Which character would you have loved to play have you been given the chance?
Queen Christina would have been very interesting. I just did a TV series a documentary series that I shot here in Stockholm this fall about 8 Swedish queens, and Queen Christina, she's just, yeah, she's so fascinating.
So you are a little bit interested in this royal mood, perhaps?
No, it just happened to. No, not at all. I don't know anything about royalties really, and I've never been interested before. But then I got this part with Crown Princess Martha, and I got it years before we shot. So therefore, I started getting interested, and then I got this question about the documentary series about queens, and then I thought maybe that's really interesting too. So it just. It wasn't a choice, it just happened.
And we have to say that you're doing, at the same time you're doing Queens, you're doing TV series um, about suicide. So I mean, you're really working in a contrasting world, so to say.
Yeah.
Hmm. How much television do you watch yourself? If we talk about series out in the world, how much time do you binge? What do you watch? What really fills you with wow?
Oh, I watch a lot, and I just finished Normal People, and it just broke my heart, and it was so beautiful, and the way the camera worked with the actors, and the way the actors worked with the camera and with each other, and everything they never said. Oh, I just love that series. It was so beautiful. Painful. But I watch a lot because it's my passion and my business. So I watch a lot sometimes I just research by watching, and sometimes I get drawn into things. But of course, I think it's harder to get me really engaged since I'm probably looking at it in a different way since I work with it.
What do you think that the offer of the TV series today is it positive? Is it good? Is it in a general way of speaking? Do you think they are offering good stuff out there, or is it not good enough?
I think, obviously there's so much, and there's everybody wants and needs more TV series and content, and so it's such an explosion still. So of course there's just both very, very good things and very, very bad things. And the challenge is to keep resistance to just keep on telling a series just because it's a success or something, just to take responsibility for the story and for and take responsibility towards the audience too, to really, do you have something to tell, or are you just continuing because, I mean, that's, at least I think that's the way I want to work. I want to work as long as I have a story to tell. Otherwise there's no point in just going on. But I
Is that
guess, I think, yeah, I just think we're living in a fantastic time when so much is possible technically, and the resources are so big and the audience is so huge. And especially as a woman in my age, the timing is so brilliant, because I feel the urge of new stories about women, about older women than we've seen. So I think I'm very, very grateful for living in this time.
you're right now an active producer, creator, you are navigating the market, you're acquiring book
Mm.
rights, scripts, you're
Mm.
writing yourself, you're planning to finance various projects. What is it you want your series to deliver? You have described it very well right now, but you are into this
Yeah.
female female wave, and I really like it. Can you tell us more about it?
I want to be a part of projects that includes the female audience as a big audience, as big as it is, and includes all women and all people on the planet. I mean, and that, I think that's what's happening in the world right now.
You were a key role in the MeToo movement in Sweden. How was
Mm.
that? Do you feel that the movement affected the women's status for real, or are we back to normal?
Mm, I don't know. Um, I don't think we're back to normal. I think we had a very hard backlash in Sweden um, because of the way we did it. We did our Me Too movement. We shaped it in order not to have to deal with the press, in order not to have to give families pain when their fathers or brothers or sons are on the newspapers all over. I mean, I don't know what's good, what is good with hanging out a bunch of men who have behaved badly. There is no point, we figured. So we did it like more structural way, in order to show the structure. We told our stories anonymously, and we thought it was brilliant, and it was brilliant because it spread, and suddenly we had 64 calls from lawyers, from the sex workers, from the opera singers, in the whole society, doctors, lawyers, everybody just joined. It was huge. But then in the end, what I now see in my business as is that even though we have told people about who, or we have recommended who to hire, or who not to hire maybe, or who to speak to before you hire, but I see still that actually many people don't give a shit as long as they can earn money. So, and we who worked with this and put down so much effort and so much time to do it in a very broad and nice and dignified way, we are now sitting with hundreds of stories about colleagues we know. So I don't know if the result is good or not. We'll see. I don't know. And I don't know what to do with these stories. I don't know what to do with them. So it's a complex answer for a complex situation. But I think, I mean, for the record, it's changed. But in real life, I don't know how much.
Has it happened that you have been offered roles, positions with people that you know have a track record that you have said no to right away?
Yes, many times.
I'm happy to hear that. I think it's very good that you do
Also,
it.
sadly enough, also often before, because some of the people who are the most powerful actors in our business have been behaving like this for so many decades. And before Me Too, the only way to handle it was to say, no, thank you, I don't work with that project.
Can you tell us a little bit about your latest projects?
Yeah, Mystery Road is actually airing today here in Sweden. I think they aired a couple of weeks before in Australia. And that was a fantastic experience. It's a show that I admire, and the people who worked with that show was fantastic. And Aaron Peterson, who plays the main part in both the films and the TV series, I think he's one of the world's greatest actors. Very, very good. So that was a very challenging, interesting project to join. And now I'm negotiating with several projects, and everybody thinks we're going to shoot. And I just, I say yes to what I want to do, and let's see what happens. But I can't, obviously, I can't say anything yet.
So Mystery Road will be on air soon. It's the second series of Mystery Road. That's what we're talking about. Why did you like the series so much? Because I know that you even wanted to take the story to Sweden. Tell me about that.
Yeah, Mystery Road is a genius series because it's combining entertainment, crime, beautiful landscape with actually talking about real problems in the Australian country. I mean, I learned when I was in Australia that they have, of all the people who are in prison, 95% is Aborigines. And in the whole country, the amount of Aborigines is just 5%. That's really scary numbers, and it tells something about their society that this series deals with. And then I figured, we have an indigenous people in my country, and we have these, we don't have those numbers that they have with prison and so on, but we have problems, and we have difficulties, and I mean, just this fall there was a big law thing about the Sami people against the people, some owners of earth somewhere in the north. So there it is an actual problem and discussion in Scandinavia, and it's a beautiful landscape, and it's and the story and everything is complex. So it could so easily be remade in Scandinavia, also because it's the Sami people are living in both Finland, Norway, and Sweden, so it could be across all the countries. So that could be a cool idea.
Tell me something. Where will you be in 5 years? We're sitting here, Corona. We cannot even talk to each other. I hope life will be normal very soon. But if we look at the window, 5 years, where is Sofia Helin then?
I am sitting in a very comfortable chair, involved in many interesting and challenging projects. I'm having a little dog in my lap, little nice one, and I'm talking to two 25-year-old women who wants to start their. I wish that would be the situation.
It's a beautiful situation. Sofia, I cannot thank you enough. I think it was a great session for us, and I hope that it doesn't take 5 years to start.
But
really
that it's not bad with 5 years. It's good with not going too fast. I think that's good. To build slow is good.
Slow is good. Do change the world. Help us with that. Thank you so very much for your time and continue the great work. We look forward to see Crown Prince Marta. We're longing to see you as an archaeologist, and we are looking to see many of your wonderful projects on screen soon. Thank you very much for today.
Caroline. Thank you. Take care.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.